to our morning take.
It's hump day.
It's hump day, and my name is Frank Johnson.
And I'm Abraham Lawrence.
And I'm Nick Seaman.
And our goal here is to describe for you the movie that is going on in our head when we read the Bible in the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. It is August the 2nd, I believe.
Yes, it is. And you know what's going on tonight?
Episode 148. What is going on tonight, Abe?
Carolina Panthers Fan Fest tonight.
Oh, my goodness. On a Wednesday night.
Yes.
Don't they usually do it on the weekend, right?
Usually on a Friday, but for some strange reason, it's tonight.
I don't think it's strange at all. They have this new quarterback from Alabama.
Yeah,
You're not impressed.
I am, but, you know, I'm not a Panthers fan.
But you're an Alabama fan.
I am.
So now you got something you can root for a little bit, right?
That is true.
By the way, I just finished over the weekend. I finished watching. You tell me all these things I need to watch, and I probably should. So I almost feel bad that I have to that I say this because I haven't watched anything he's given
That's
me.
okay.
I watched the Netflix quarterback.
I heard everyone is ranting and raving
That was
about
put
that.
out by
Patrick Mahomes.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning actually, produced it, and he says, it's the hardest job on the earth is a NFL quarterback. And after watching it, I almost agree. I mean, honest to goodness, that is a tough job. Not only is it physical, and they have to be physical, and they have to be in such great shape, but the cerebral thinking that goes in. They literally know what every position is supposed to be doing. And these things that they call out, first the coach tells it to them. Now, you'll have to watch it yourself because I'm not good at all this. But they have like 4 names that describe the formation, describes how many people are supposed to be where. Like when they say pistol, that means something. So it'll be like pistol, zebra, X. Then they have an X and a name that goes along with that, 2 things, and then a Y and a couple things that goes on with that. And then what the count is. They repeat all this. And Kirk Cousins is one of them that they talk. And Kirk is such a great guy. I really do believe Kirk is a Christian man. He stands for Jesus. He did when he went to the awards. He really does. And so I just had, my heart went out to Kirk. And then on the other hand, you have Patrick Mahomes, which, the F word was not unfamiliar to Patrick. So I'm not really saying that everybody ought to watch this, okay? There's a lot of bad language in the thing. I mean, he's just real. But anyway, Kirk says this whole thing. He repeats it all back. But when he gets to the Y, he forgot the formation. He goes, Y, whatever, on 6 or whatever. And then they actually run the play. But the guys, because they know the play too, the guy that was supposed to run the Y route, because of everything else he said, he knew what his Y route had to be. Like, it had to be this. And they actually scored a touchdown on it, too, so it was pretty cool. But, Abe, I was amazed. First off, the coach gives him this. It's a sentence long, and then you literally repeat it in the huddle to the guys. How do you remember all that?
I mean, you have to. I mean, that's why.
And every week it changes.
Yeah. Well, that's why one of the reasons the Panthers got rid of Kelvin Benjamin, because he couldn't remember the plays.
Wow. I mean, it really is quite complex.
You have to study it. I mean, there's no way around it. You got to study.
After a good sack or two, I don't even know how you could do anything, even think straight.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, they get a half a concussion back there, and then it's like, now you're still supposed to remember
that
all
pressure, man.
And anyway, we can't get off on football. We're still in the middle of this story. We got to get back to this story. Where in the world was I at?
We just lost 5 minutes.
Genesis 31. Yeah, good 4 minutes anyway. Well, where are we at, Nick? Professor?
We are. I think you just wrapped up 41. Yeah.
41. Yeah, actually.
Read 41 again.
Yeah, I don't mind reading this whole thing again, actually, because I was kind of just making a point that Jacob was just whining. He's just whining now. But what he is doing, though, is he's listing in an order all of his grievances. Because he's like, you've done run me down out here like I'm some thief.
He's finally venting everything.
I haven't stolen a thing from you. In fact, if anything, you've stolen from me. That's what you've done. You've stolen my life. I've spent 20 years making you richer, and now you want to come out here and say, oh, you stole my gods. Well, did you find them? Nope. Nobody's finding those gods. And if they do, they'll give them back. It's like, you can just keep those.
It must have been all those.
Rachel shifts on her camel. Nope.
It must have been all those dates I had on the way over here.
So verse 38 says, and Jacob begins to list his grievances.
But before you even go into that,
okay,
let's keep it real. Jacob had a choice in the beginning. He wanted Rachel, kissed her, and he cried. He was willing to do anything. So, it is what it is.
Did you see Amber Seaman's comment on the live podcast last week?
I did not.
She put on there, she goes, what did she say? She said, I think Laban and Jacob deserve each other.
They do, but they do.
That's what she said.
But they do.
That is so true.
They do.
They literally deserve each other because each of them treat the other just exactly
the same way.
It's like, here's another dose of yourself.
Yeah.
Back at you, big guy.
I love that. Here's a dose. Every time Abraham hits me with one of those quips, I'm like, man, it's like looking in the mirror.
I'm telling you. Yep, so that's exactly what it is. All right, so Jacob lists his grievances. These 20 years I've been with you. Your ewes and your female goats, they've not miscarried, nor have I eaten the rams of your flocks. That which was torn of beasts I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it myself. You required it of my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. By day the heat consumed me, and the frost by night. My sheep fled from my eyes. Now, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent here, but Sean Donovan, my son-in-law, he's been over there on 2 or 3 deployments, and I just remember him describing it. He's like, it's 140 degrees in the daytime, and then it's like 15 degrees below zero at night.
Yeah.
It's like it's amazing. The difference in the day and the night. Like you don't want to have clothes on in the daytime, and you can't put enough clothes on at night. So it depends on your duty. And Lord forbid that you start like mid-afternoon and have to go to like mid-morning. Because it's like you go through the whole gamut.
Yeah, you'd be getting sick.
And it's just
it was really crazy.
I mean, even though I know Jacob is whining, but he's even not charging Laban for the losses in the field. He's like taking...
Yeah, he said, I ate them.
Yeah.
I ate every one of
he
those.
took anything that was bad, I didn't take it. You took it out of my pay, and I didn't say a word.
He replaced it. No charge. These 20 years I've been in your house. I've served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, 6 years for your flock, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been for me, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed. God has seen my affliction and the toil of my hands, so he rendered the judgment last night. Jacob says, see, my God will take care of me. We were sort of talking about that off the air, and I'm not going to share like everything that we were talking about off the air, but God will take care of us. We need to understand that. God will take care of us. When people are trying to do mean things to us, when people are trying to cheat us, when people are trying to be underhanded, listen, God will fight our battles for us. You can rest assured that it will. And it's not that nothing bad's ever going to happen to us, because it does a lot.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Rains on the just and the unjust.
I can't tell you how many times I've taken my car in my lifetime to some mechanic, and they've just basically, taken everything that I had, and then it still didn't work. So, just to find good, honest people. That's what I love about my little brother Logan Maychek. He's fixing my truck, and I know it's going to be right when he gets done. If it's not right, he'll make it right. That's the kind of guy he is. It's hard to find people like that anymore. It really is. And by the way, if you're in the area of Gaston County, R&R is that way. You feel that way about Randy and Rusty?
Of course, 100%.
They're up there in Bessemer City, R&R Auto. I'm not trying to, plug them, but
they tell you literally exactly what it is. They're not making money by ripping you off.
Yeah.
They trust me. They get plenty of work.
Yeah,
they don't
really
have
do.
to rob anybody.
Yeah, and they don't try to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed.
Yep.
And the only downside to them is just make sure you have another vehicle.
Oh yeah,
because that thing's going to sit there for a while.
Yeah, you better believe
it's going to be a week before they even look at it. All right, I'm sorry, Randy and Rusty. I love you guys. I hope you guys are listening. Anyway, so we're all done, and now we come to verse 33, and Laban gets to speak now, and he says to Jacob, "The daughters are my daughters, and the children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks, and all that you see is mine. But what can I do this day to these my daughters, or to their children, whom they have borne? So now come, let us make a covenant, you and me. Let it be a witness between you and me." At the end of the day, you got to make peace.
You have to.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. We'll finish this up.